European banks firmly in focus today. Our big interview right now, though, is with the chair of Santander. Let's take a listen.
We're going to be investing 20 billion over the next few years in technology and digital. It's about 5 billion total per year, and of that, 2 billion is in digital. So the run the bank and transform the bank versus the investment for the future is quite a healthy ratio. And in terms of scale, by the way, we're right up there with the biggest banks in the world. So we'd be fourth or fifth in the US, depending on how you measure that. So we have enough scale to invest across the group, which is one of the ways, that we're aiming to work more for the countries like the US or other countries where we don't have, the profitability we want. So we're going to really take advantage of our size globally.
Your returns to shareholders is probably one of the highest out there compared to rivals. When will your share price follow?
Well, you tell me. It's a bit frustrating. We get put in the box of European banks, even though half our business is in the Americas. I believe it's a question of interest rates in Europe. We were at 7 euros 2-3 years ago. We have more capital, so we took our capital from 8.27 to 11.30. Our return on tangible equity went from 10 to 11.7. We're increasing cash dividend per share, and our share price is lower than a few years ago. Having said this, what's important is that our earnings per share in constant euros, because we also had adverse effects. So more capital, foreign exchange against us, and we delivered 55% earnings per share over this time period. And even in euros, it was above 20%. So, definitely the market should value us different than most European banks.
Is there anything that investors ask of you? Is it, is it what you do with the U.S. bank? Is it something else? Is it capital? This seems to be, recurring.
Yeah. People ask about capital all the time. And so what I can say is first that, we're not getting from the supervisors still today a recognition for our diversification. However, the market does give us that recognition. If you look at the CDS for Santander, all the debt structure, it's actually trading at very low spreads, similar to banks that have 13-14% CET1, right? The second question is, what price do you pay to get to, let's say, 12% faster? So, do you sell a business that is actually going to deliver 11% return like the US? That's what we said today in 3 years. Is it worth it? That's the question. And finally, of course, our model is more predictable. I mean, this is Bloomberg data, and I always give you credit for that, by the way. If you look at Bloomberg data, earnings per share volatility over the last 20 years, it's your graph, we have 9% versus our peers 140%. And we grow earnings. Right? We grow earnings not as much as the others, but we grow earnings 3-4 times, I think it is. This is what's important. We have a more predictable business model, requires less capital. We perform better under stress. So, we have delivered in the past, and I'm confident we will in the future.
Are you still bullish about Brazil?
I remember our conversation.
Yeah, this was right before the elections.
Yes,
right
before the elections, and right before the country suffered one of the worst, recessions ever, and our bank did much better. This is the other, thing about our business is that, we lend money in Europe and North America. We actually do a lot of transactional banking in Latin America. So only 30% of our loans are in Latin America. It's a very small balance sheet. There's a lot of upside for the future. That's why we're much more resilient to crises. And that's why today we announced our payment services division, which is super exciting, by the way. We're very big on this. People don't know that. But yes, to answer your question, yes, I think Brazil will continue to do well. And, we're now 20% ROTE, and we want to grow.
Your current chief executive, I mean, again, I've asked you, I think, in February, is he here to stay?
Yes.
Does he have the confidence of everyone? Do you feel like your child question is settled, and will it be settled, legally with him?
I think we are moving forward, and the team is very comfortable. We have had just all our top team here yesterday. We now have a digital, video cast to the rest of the group. He is a great leader. We've worked great together, and we have an amazing team also working for him. So, we're very optimistic, even, I'd say, about the future.
What happens for Brexit? Have you considered the worst, and are you ready for it?
We have been working for months to ensure that all our customers, and we have a lot of retail customers, and we have a big bank here and in Spain, retail customers, small customers, small companies, big companies, that we are ready to service them. And I can tell you we are ready, and they can trust that the service will continue whatever happens with Brexit.